Hey YouTube, it's Blade Brothers here. If you followed my prior video on the Higo No Kami knife, you saw that I briefly introduced this particular knife, so I decided to, the next following video, of course, to do a review of this one. Unfortunately, it's not really an unboxing, considering that it came in just a plastic kind of container that you'd actually have to rip apart to get to. So doesn't have a box, basically. A few of the Gerber products I've noticed that yeah, they don't have the boxing or the boxes for it. So this is the Gerber Ayako. I introduced it in the Higo No Kami knife review or video, largely because this is apparent. It has the chikiri tail influence, the design. So this particular section right here, and if you notice, there's no thumb studs or any other method for opening this particular knife. I mean, there's a little bit of sort of like a groove or a slit in the blade here that I can show you, but it's actually maybe it's because this is a new knife, it's very hard to pull out. I'm like trying to pull this out and it's not really happening. So you actually have to use the chikiri, similar to a Higo No Kami. So you see how the slit is, but you can see now that when I actually have it closed, very little of the slit is actually showing. So it's very hard to try to cram your fingernail in there and try to open it this way. So one-handed opening in this method is probably not very feasible. But you can open it one-handed like a Higo No Kami by deploying the blade here like this and locking it into place. It is a frame lock knife, so very sturdy. You can take a closer look here. It is called the Ayako, so it has definitely some sort of Japanese influence, and you can even see it with the they call this like a tapered tanto, so it's not an American tanto where it's very defined in terms of where the tip is. It has a little bit more curvature, similar to your more traditional katana sword type of tip. It has this little slit here. It's an aluminum frame. Blade steel is 7CR17 MOV stainless steel. It also has a sort of a gray, let me see if I can zoom in here, grayish oxide. Let's see if it would zoom. There we go. Finish on it, even though it's a stainless steel. So I would consider it pretty corrosion resistant. So it is built to be a sort of a work knife. Has a belt clip right here, but it does not appear to be reversible. So you can't actually change the position of the belt clip. Overall length is 8 inches, so pretty sizable. Blade length is 3.5 inches. Overall weight is 3.67 ounces. And I mentioned the handle scales here is aluminum, but it looks like it has some anodized sort of treatment here to give it sort of this kind of copper bronze tinge, and then this side is a more gray color that matches the blade. A very simplistic type of knife design, so it does actually get some of that simplicity similar to a Higo No Kami. Feels good in the hand. It's nice size, so it's not too small in the hand. You can see here. You can still do the one-handed opening, just not very fast deployment. But it's, I guess you can definitely use it as a defense type of knife, but for deployment and whatnot, it might not be that easy. For this type of knife design, you might have preferred like maybe like a flipper, or potentially maybe like a crossbar lock or something of that nature. If your locale supports or allows for automatics, then maybe a sort of an automatic mechanism for faster deployment. I mean, with practice, you could probably deploy this relatively quick, but I can't really see how, because I'm seeing it from, okay, if I had this in my pocket with the belt clip up like this, and this part is actually sticking out, which is kind of a little bit awkward. Pull it from my pant pocket, try to deploy it maybe with my index, but I don't think it's really, I don't get the proper leverage with the index finger. Not like a front flipper. You'd still have to use it similar to a front flipper in the sense of here with your thumb. But the problem is, it's very tight. The frame lock is pinching on the blade a little bit. I don't know if you can see it very clearly. So the mechanism to flip it open is not great. I mean, once it locks up, the frame lock being in place, it's very sturdy. There's no jiggle with the blade. It feels good in the hand. Yeah, it's reminiscent of a sort of like a Tonto. And then there's, let's see. Yeah, there's a little bit of a separation point there for your sharpening. So overall, not a bad blade. Definitely affordable if you want a workhorse type blade, or even utility purposes. This blade design, it can do slicing tasks relatively easy. See if I can get a sheet of paper here. So let's take a look at how sharp it is. It's decent. I could probably hone it a little bit more, but not bad. And the tip design allows for, slicing capabilities, as you can see here. Also, for self-defense purposes, it will work. I mean, any blade is still better than not having one. Granted, you should be trained with it, so used to a proper grip and, have a solid grip for thrusting action. And there is no protection here or groove here to stop your hand from slipping forward. So if you do like thrusting motions, you have to be very careful not to have your finger slide here. I think though this is primarily built to be more of a utility type of blade, work blade, considering the method of deployment and whatnot. So yeah, it works, and it's not a bad design. It has a nice look to it. Overall feel for it isn't bad. I mean, eventually, if you get used to the one-handed opening for this, then it's not too bad. I feel kind of awkward with it, though. And I've used some, like, front opening knives, but this one's not great. Front flippers, so... And, yeah. It's very, it actually, the level of tension I feel trying to open this is not that different from the friction folder that is the Higo No Kami. So that's actually pretty interesting. All right. As always, this is Blade Brothers. Thank you for your support. If you like our videos, please give us a like. Ideally, subscribe to our channel and leave us some comments. We always want to hear back from you. All right. Blade Brothers signing off.